All right, let's talk about something that sounds like it's straight out of science fiction. We're going to look at one of the most incredible engineering feats ever, the Panama Canal. See, it does something that just shouldn't be possible. It takes massive ships. We're talking some of the biggest on the planet, and literally lifts them up and over a mountain. So how does it work? Let's get into it.
So yeah, that's the big question, right? How in the world do you sail a ship over a mountain? I mean, it sounds like a trick question, doesn't it? But this was a very real problem that some very smart engineers had to figure out. And their solution?
Well, it's just brilliant and surprisingly simple.
Okay, so to understand why this was even necessary, you gotta look at the map. For hundreds of years, there was this massive roadblock for sailors. If you wanted to get a ship from the Atlantic Ocean to the Pacific, well, you had a giant piece of land sitting right in the middle of your path.
And that piece of land is the Isthmus of Panama. Now, on a map, it looks pretty narrow, right? But in reality, it's this wall of mountains and thick, unforgiving jungle. It separates the two biggest oceans on the planet. For the longest time, your only choice was to sail all the way down and around the tip of South America. We're talking a brutal, thousands of miles long, super dangerous journey. So, naturally, the dream was always the same. Find a way to just cut straight through.
But here's the kicker. The real problem wasn't just digging a trench from one side to the other. To make the crossing, a ship actually has to go uphill. It needs to be lifted 85 feet, that's about 26 meters, above sea level. Think about that for a second. That's like lifting a ship to the top of an 8-story building. So the question becomes, how on earth do you lift a 50,000-ton ship that high?
The solution is it's one of those beautiful, elegant ideas. They called it a water elevator. See, instead of trying to figure out some crazy system of cranes or giant machines to lift the ship itself, the engineers thought, wait a minute, what if we just lift the water the ship is already floating on?
And the key piece of tech that makes this whole water elevator thing work is something called a canal lock. The easiest way to picture it? Just imagine a gigantic concrete bathtub. A really, really big one, with huge steel doors at both ends. It's basically a watertight chamber where you can raise or lower the water level and take a ship right along with it.
So here's how it works, and it really is beautifully simple. A ship sails into the lock chamber. Clang, the big gates shut behind it. Then, water starts pouring into the chamber. And just like a rubber ducky in a tub that's filling up, the gigantic ship just floats up with the rising water. Seriously, it's that simple in principle.
Okay, so that's the core concept. Now, let's actually take a ride. Let's follow a ship on its journey step by step as it makes the crossing. So picture this. You're standing on the deck of a huge container ship. You're coming in from the Atlantic side, and looming in front of you is this colossal concrete structure. These are the Gatun locks, the first step. And trust me, the scale of this thing is just hard to wrap your head around.
Your ship slowly, carefully glides into the first chamber. And you'll see these powerful little locomotives on tracks on either side. They're called mules, and their job is to keep your massive ship perfectly centered. Then you hear it, this deep, slow groan as those giant steel gates swing shut, sealing you in. A moment later, there's a low rumble, and you know the valves have opened. Water is now flooding into the chamber. And we're not talking about a little bit of water here. To lift the ship in just this one lock chamber, it takes, get this, 26 million gallons of fresh water. To put that in perspective, that is enough water to fill nearly 40 Olympic-sized swimming pools. And all of it comes rushing into this chamber in just a few minutes. It's incredible.
And the weirdest part? You barely feel a thing. There's no big jolts, no lurching motion. The entire massive vessel just rises smoothly and almost silently. In about 10 minutes, you look over the side and you're way up, looking down on the water level you were just at. Then the gates in front of you open and you sail out onto Gatun Lake, a full 85 feet higher than the ocean you were in just a little while ago.
Okay, so at this point, you're probably thinking what I was thinking. What's the power bill for the gigantic pumps you'd need to move all that water? I mean, it must be astronomical, right? Well, this is where the design of the Panama Canal goes from clever to pure genius. It has a secret weapon, a hidden power source.
Because the entire system, for filling and emptying all of these massive locks, uses exactly 0 pumps. Nope, not a single one. Let me say that again, because it's wild. 0 pumps. The whole thing runs on one of the most powerful and reliable forces there is. Gravity. It's all powered by gravity. Here's how. Remember Gatun Lake, the one you sail onto? It's a huge, man-made lake, and it was created by damming a river. The key is, its surface is 85 feet higher than the ocean's. So, to fill a lock on the way up, all they do is open a valve and let water from the lake flow downhill into the chamber. It's that simple. And to lower a ship on the Pacific side, they just do the reverse. Open a valve and let the water flow from the lock downhill toward the ocean. It's a perfectly balanced, completely gravity-fed system. Just genius.
So we've seen the incredible how, but that brings us to the why. Why go through all of this monumental effort? Well,
because the impact of this water elevator wasn't just big, it literally changed the world.
I mean, just look at this. Before the canal existed, if you wanted to get a ship from New York to San Francisco, you had to go all the way around South America. That's a journey of about 13,000 miles. After the canal, that trip is cut down to about 5,200 miles. It's not just a shortcut, it's a complete game changer. It completely rewired global trade and connected the planet like never before.
When you really think about it, the Panama Canal is so much more than just a big ditch with some fancy gates. It's this incredible monument to human ingenuity. It's proof that if you have a deep understanding of basic physics and a really bold vision, you can solve problems that everyone else thinks are impossible. You can, quite literally, make ships sail over mountains.
And, that really leaves you with the thought, doesn't it? The people who built the canal, they solved a problem that had stumped people for centuries. It kind of makes you wonder, with all the massive challenges we're facing today, what impossible problem is human ingenuity going to solve next?